Welcome to Krino Forensics, a student led initiative turning suspicions into certainties. When hatred takes the form of violence and prejudice fuels murder, forensic science becomes more than just a tool, it becomes the voice of justice. This is the chilling case of Prem Shri, an alleged racist killer whose crimes shook communities and challenged investigators. How do you trace a killer driven by ideology? What evidence exposes hate masked as motive? Join us as we dissect the science behind the investigation, the psychology behind the killer, and the pursuit of truth that followed. This is more than a case study, it's a confrontation with the darkest corners of the human mind. This case study investigates the alleged homicide of a man by his wife, Prem Shri, with the motive reportedly being the victim's dark complexion. Drawing from existing news reports, the study presents a hypothetical forensic investigation to reconstruct the crime. It delves into the potential legal and societal consequences of a crime driven by colorism, a form of prejudice based on skin tone. Additionally, the study emphasizes the vital role of forensic science in uncovering the truth in such cases and highlights the broader implications of prejudice, advocating for legal and social measures to combat ingrained societal biases. The reported case of Prem Shri, a woman convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment for setting her husband on fire due to his dark complexion, presents a grim illustration of the deadly consequences of prejudice. While the available information is limited to news reports, this scenario provides a crucial framework for a hypothetical forensic case study. This analysis will delve into the potential forensic procedures and evidence involved in such a homicide investigation, explore the legal ramifications of a bias motivated crime, and discuss the broader societal implications of colorism as a driver of violence. By examining this case through a forensic lens, we can better understand the complexities of investigating such crimes and the importance of recognizing and addressing underlying societal biases. The initial step in a forensic investigation following a report of a fire resulting in a death. It emphasizes that the response by law enforcement and forensic team is crucial, with the main priorities being to secure the scene, protect the safety of first responders, and start the careful documentation and preservation of any potential evidence. Since the scene is likely a home, investigators would proceed with caution, mindful of possible dangers and the need for thorough examination. Given that the crime reportedly involved setting the victim on fire, the forensic process would involve several detailed and structured stages to uncover the truth and gather necessary evidence. Forensic fire investigators study the burn patterns found on victims and within the surrounding environment to determine the fire's origin and intensity. This detailed examination helps identify whether any accelerants were used and whether the burn injuries are consistent with the reported event. Unusual burn patterns or untouched areas can provide clues about how the fire began and whether the victim was possibly restrained. Such precise and careful analysis offers critical insights into the circumstances surrounding the fire, aiding in uncovering the truth behind the incident. When investigating a fire, experts look for any traces of flammable liquids like kerosene or gasoline that may have been used to start or accelerate the fire. These residues or containers are collected and sent to a forensic lab for chemical analysis to determine the exact composition. Additionally, investigators search for ignition sources such as matches, lighters, or electrical devices. These items are carefully documented and collected as evidence. To establish a connection between the items and the individuals involved, fingerprint and DNA analysis may be performed, helping link the ignition sources to either the victim or the suspect. In forensic investigation, several analytical techniques are used to uncover critical evidence. One method involves examining fibers and hairs found on clothing or in the surrounding area to establish connections between the victim and the accused, as well as to identify signs of force or physical contact during the incident. Another important aspect is bloodstain pattern analysis. Although fire can destroy much of the blood evidence, investigators still search for any remaining bloodstains or spatter patterns to help reconstruct the sequence of events that occurred before or during the fire. Additionally, general scene documentation plays a vital role in the investigation. This includes detailed photographic and video recordings of the scene, capturing elements such as body positions, burn patterns, and any other potential evidence. These records are essential for thorough analysis and legal presentation, and scaled diagrams of the scene are also often created to support the findings. During an autopsy and medical examination in a forensic investigation, several critical steps are undertaken to gather information about the cause and manner of death. The pathologist begins by determining the cause of death, which in fire related cases is often due to thermal injuries and related complications such as smoke inhalation or organ failure. The extent and depth of the burns on the body are carefully documented. Next, the manner of death is assessed by evaluating burn patterns, the possible use of accelerants, and the overall circumstances surrounding the incident. This helps determine if the death was accidental, suicidal, or a homicide. Toxicological analysis is also performed by collecting samples of blood and other bodily fluids to detect the presence of substance like alcohol or drugs, which can provide further context to the case. Additionally, evidence is collected directly from the body, including trace materials such as fibers, hairs, or skin scrapings, which may be significant in identifying suspects or confirming details of the event. In forensic investigation, testimonial and digital evidence provide valuable insights into the circumstances surrounding a case. Investigators begin by conducting witness interviews, speaking with individuals such as neighbors, family members, and first responders. These interviews help uncover important details about events leading up to the incident, the nature of the relationship between the victim and the accused, and any other relevant observations. Statements made by the accused in the case Prem are also vital. However, their use in court would depend on legal considerations, including whether the statements were made voluntarily and in accordance with Miranda rights. In addition to verbal testimonies, digital forensics plays a key role. This involves analyzing electronic devices like mobile phones and computers owned by both the victim and the accused. Such analysis can uncover significant information, including communication records, browsing history, and potential signs of motive or premeditated actions, which can greatly aid in building the case. To understand the motive behind a crime, especially in a cases where colorism is suspected as a driving factor, investigators must closely examine the relationship dynamics and communication patterns between the individuals involved. This involves interviewing family members and friends to uncover any discriminatory remarks or underlying biases that may have influenced the behavior of the accused. Communication records can offer further context, and psychological evaluations may reveal deeper emotional or mental issues at play. A careful study of interpersonal interactions helps identify hidden prejudice that could have contributed to the crime. Furthermore, acknowledging the role of societal biases is essential for a well rounded and accurate criminal investigation. By thoroughly exploring these psychological and social dimensions, investigators can gain a clearer understanding of the potential motivations behind the alleged offenses. The legal implications and prosecution of Prem for homicide highlight the justice system's recognition of the seriousness of such violent acts. In this case, the suggested motive of colorism introduced the possibility of the crime being considered a bias driven offense, akin to hate crimes based on race or ethnicity. Although India does not currently have any specific laws that categorize color based offences as hate crimes, the court's decision to issue a life sentence demonstrates the gravity with which the crime was regarded. The prosecution would have relied on a combination of forensic evidence, witness statements, and motive based findings to establish guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Such a sentence reflects the court's acknowledgement of the severity of the crime and serves as a strong punitive response to heinous potential bias motivated violence. This case brings to light the deeply rooted issue of colorism within society, particularly in India, and serves as a tragic example of how ingrained prejudice can lead to extreme acts of violence. It emphasizes the urgent need for increased awareness and education to challenge harmful beliefs related to skin color. Public campaigns and educational efforts are essential in dismantling these biases and fostering a more inclusive mindset. Additionally, it is crucial to address systemic discrimination by recognizing and confronting biases that exist in areas such as employment, education, and social interactions. Legal reforms also play a vital role by establishing specific legal frameworks to classify and penalize colorism based hate crimes. Societies can create stronger deterrence and ensure justice for victims of such prejudice. This case not only exposes the social damage caused by colorism but also highlights the pressing need for collective action on multiple fronts. The Prem homicide, which is presented as a disturbing instance of bias motivated fatal assault, the alleged motive, the victim's dark complexion, underscores the perilous impact of colorism. A comprehensive forensic investigation would entail meticulous scene examination through autopsy procedures and the collection of both testimonial and digital evidence. The described legal outcome, a life sentence, reflects the gravity of the crime. Moreover, the case highlights the critical necessity of confronting colorism through education, awareness, and potential legal reforms. The paragraph concludes by emphasizing that this tragic incident serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost of prejudice and the importance of fostering a more equitable and inclusive society, noting that further official information would be required for a complete and accurate forensic analysis. Racism is dead only to those who have closed their eyes and ears to the whole world around them. It is not our differences that divide us, it is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. This case study was presented by Susan Petricia, volunteer at Krino Forensics. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more case studies and forensic insights.